You are watching. Pause. We pause for a second or two. How do we keep life coherent when so much is changing? This is episode 256, Acute Situation. These days, we have grown accustomed to seeing erratic scenes. We have grown accustomed to seeing arguments and hot-headed differences. Basically everywhere in society. We see it out in the streets. We see it in schools. We see it in workplaces. We even see it in parliament. There seems to be conflict everywhere right now. So in today's episode, we are talking about this, our everyday reality as we're having it right now. So today we're talking about our acute situation. Our acute situation. It is one of our 5 typical situations that we pause in. So you can see here on top of the cube, the wood cube, it says situation. It's one of 5. Acute. And here you see the symbol for our acute situation. It is a yellow-orange exclamation mark. That now something sudden is happening. Now something is interrupting us or calling on us to drop everything and resolve this acute situation. We must deal with it now. It is acute. We pause and find ourselves caught off guard, startled, or suddenly approached. Acute is how we experience our differences about authority. This is our acute situation. So what we're doing today is that we pause and spend some time thinking about this typical kind of situation. And what is easy to say right off the bat is that our acute situation is not fun to pause in. Most often, we do everything we can to escape acute situations. Most often, we make extensive plans in order to avoid acute situations altogether. We go to great lengths in order to minimize the number and intensity of acute situations in our life. They simply are not fun. We fear acute situations. Nonetheless, they happen. Sometimes acute situations have a way of finding us, whether we like it or not. We can make extremely detailed plans. We can tick all the boxes, and still some kind of sudden, acute, uncomfortable situation seem to find us. They are tricky, these kinds of situations. We pause and find ourselves caught off guard. Often nowadays, when we are out in public spaces, more and more often we see people panic. People moving in a twitchy way. People having great tension in their bodies. And we cannot help but be caught off guard sometimes by it. And we do our best to try to look composed, to try to look cool, to try to look unfazed. But we are we are faced. We always are by acute situations. These days, when we are out in public spaces, there is more of an apprehensive mood among all of us. There's more mistrust between people. Our kids have stomach aches going to school. Our elderly do not want to go outside after dark. And a lot of fun activities are seeing the need to take greater precautions in order to maintain order. It is simply more difficult these days to be relaxed out in the public spaces. It's simply more difficult. And here on this side of the cube, it says authority. Down here, it says authority. Acute is how we experience our differences about authority. How we experience our differences about authority. So, whether we are talking about the public square, we're talking about schools, workplaces, parliament, no matter what kind of place we're talking about, we are seeing intense differences about authority. We're seeing great differences about who should be in charge. And the question of authority can be a complicated one. It has to do with clashing subjective views. It has to do with clashing subjective wishes. And it would seem that when our differences about authority grows intense enough, chances are high that acute situations manifest. So often we're seeing two parties, both clenching up, becoming more and more tense, and becoming more and more aggressive against one another, until one or both simply cannot handle the tension and something sudden happens. Some kind of clash happens. And we are seeing examples of this everywhere throughout society now. These acute clashes going on. Fights. A lot of fights. And it is not always clear what people are actually fighting about. Are they fighting about something tangible, something real, something lasting? Or are they fighting over the right to be right? Are they fighting over vanity? Could be both. Could be one more than the other. Could differ situation to situation. But what we are seeing is these incredibly tense situations leading to these acute, sometimes violent clashes. There are many exclamation marks these days. They pop up everywhere now. So what we have aimed to do in today's episode is simply to pause with our acute situation and recognize that these days often we can feel kind of helpless, seeing no clear end to these dynamics taking place. Acute situation upon acute situation, seemingly endlessly. It is tiresome. Could be that it is necessary, that it has to be that way right now. But still, it is tiresome, seeing it repeat over and over. It takes a lot of space and time away from more worthwhile things it can feel. That it sort of pushes away a lot of nuanced, nice things. And that's something to be quite sad about. Acute situations seem to be necessary, but we do not want to have them indefinitely and not as the norm. It's simply not desirable. That's it for today. Thank you.